Welcome back. So after a quick overview of VLOOKUP formula, why do we use it and where do we use it, we will get into more depth of its functionality. And my friend Bat is back, and this time he has set his eyes on more number of employees. Okay. Now I want to get the names of these corresponding employee IDs from the database given at the second half of my screen. This time I have an extended set of data, not only name, it also tells me the gender and the age of respective employees. So let me use VLOOKUP. In the first cell, the one that is marked, let me type in equal to VL. From the drop down I can see VLOOKUP, so let me use the tab key. Okay. So lookup value for the first cell happens to be the first employee ID, comma. Table array is the database from where I need to pull the data, the entire database. Now the moment I choose this, I'll have to stop you. Why? Because one of the prerequisites of VLOOKUP is whatever the common link between the two, that is the database and the question, that common link must be given priority in your selection of table array. So if you select this way, clearly serial number is the priority, which should not have been the case. VLOOKUP will not work under such circumstances. You'll have to make sure your selection of table array has to be from the column where the common link is located. So this is the right way. Okay, let me press a comma. So looking for this employee ID code in the selected table array. Now in this selected table array, if my objective is to arrive at the name of employee ID, which column must I look into? Let me count. 1, 2, precisely 2. So let me put a 2, comma. So I remember his sharp eyes, my friend's sharp eyes, and he's always looking for false exact match. Now several professionals also put in 0 in place of false. That is fine. Let me use false, closing the brackets. So if I just pressing enter, my answer would be hopspatsy. Now clearly my tendency is to copy paste this formula to the rest of the empty cells. Oops, I'm getting an NA, not 1, not 2, but 3. Now this could be because of a genuine reason that the ID that I'm looking for, let's say all of these 3, may not be present in my database. Let me find out if that is the case. So let me start with the first one, 8322. Let me see if any number starting with 8322 exists. Nope. What about this one ending with 111? Okay, it's there, Thomas Phillips. Then why is it not showing me the answer? Let me delve deep inside the formula mechanics. Let me go back to the first formula. Let me understand what is the problem. Why are we not getting the correct answer for the last 2 employee ID codes despite the data existing? Now if you look at it, the first lookup value was the one given in the blue borders, table array. That's also fine. The table array represented by 2 cell referencing, the starting point which is C12 and the ending point which is F24. Okay, let me press escape and go back to the next one. You notice one small change. Besides the lookup value change, which should have been the case, the table array has shifted 1 level down. Now why is this happening? From our earlier discussions, remember that unless we fix any part of array or cell reference, it has a tendency to move down as soon as we copy it to the next cell subsequent to it. You notice the next one as well, and the last one. Now what's happened is, the moment it is moving 1 step down, and if we are looking for a particular number, that number may have fallen outside the purview of the original table array, which has now shifted down. If you notice, let me just color the respective employee ID with color yellow, and the same matching number in the database with the same color. So looking at the formula internal workings, you'll notice the table array is now selecting the one marked with green borders, which clearly does not include the number mentioned in yellow. So to do this correctly, let me do one thing. Let me make sure I go to the first formula, choose the table array, and press the shortcut key F4, function key F4, to fix or lock the entire array so that it doesn't move anywhere, down, right, nowhere. Let me now copy paste this formula. Okay, now I'm getting the two answers. The third one is NA. Why? Because the number itself doesn't exist in my database. So if I rewrite this formula quickly, keeping in mind two things, that VLOOKUP, when I select lookup value and before choosing table array, I have to keep in mind the common link has to be given priority. So this selection of table array is correct, not the one that starts from something else, that's serial number in this case. So let me choose the table array, and let me remember any table array that I am using. Let me press F4, comma, column index number 2, and since this BAT is interested in exact match, so I'm using false, closing the brackets, enter. So hops BAT C, that's the first one. At the bottom right of the cell where I have a plus sign, let me double click to get the answers for the rest. So VLOOKUP, there are several issues involved, and we are going to talk about all these issues, the different permutation combinations, one at a time. You would find all these tick points in the PDF file attached on the website link. Thanks for listening. We'll talk about VLOOKUP issues, why do we use true and false, etc. in the next upcoming sessions.